I'm delighted to be here today. I've got my little stopwatch here. My water. My 18-month-old daughter, Erin, died almost 20 years ago. I was 33. And I was not at all convinced that there was a light at the end of that tunnel. In fact, I was quite certain that there wasn't. And 10 years ago, my 43-year-old wife died. And the journey that followed was different because I had learned that yes, indeed, thankfully, there was a light at the end of the tunnel. I had reached it once. I was quite certain I could do it again. And 5 years ago, my 13-year-old son, Rory, died of brain cancer. And what was so very, very different about that journey was that not only was I certain that there was a light at the end of the tunnel, but believe it or not, that tunnel was lit. And that made all the difference. So I'm here today to share with you pieces of my experience. This is my experience. This is my truth. And the challenge for all of us is to figure out what your truth is. And if your journey is anything like my journey, remarkably, the truth changes. As I grow and as I open and as I learn, that which I believe changes. One of the things that I am convinced, because I have seen it over and over and over again, is that death cracks us open. It literally cracks us open. When someone we love dies, we are cracked open. We're supposed to be. Anyone feel like they've been cracked open? And what happens as a result of the cracking, it's a shattering, actually. We're shattered in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pieces. And as a result of that shattering, transformation occurs. If we are learning to live with the death of someone that we love, then we are being transformed. And what's interesting is that the transformation will occur regardless of whether or not we participate in it. We can either be conscious to the transformation that's occurring, or we can be unconscious. And I think as I look back, sometimes I was conscious and sometimes I was unconscious. And then I decided to be conscious again. So I woke up and went to sleep and woke up and went to sleep. But make no mistake about it. If you are learning to live with the death of someone that you love, then you are being transformed. And I think that that transformation can bring into your life things like compassion and kindness and gentleness and acceptance and tolerance. And I also think, in fact I know, that the transformation, when we are particularly unconscious to it, can bring things into our life like bitterness and anger and resentment. And again, the choice is ours. As I reflect back on my journey, what I've realized is that in learning to live with a death, everything is transformed. Everything. My view of the world has been transformed. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. In a huge way. Because I am learning to live with the death of my daughter, my wife, my son, my response to the recent shootings at Fort Hood are different because I'm different. When I see a movie, it may trigger something in me. When I hear a song, it may stir a memory. The transformation that's occurring in me alters the way I look at Halloween. Halloween used to be a fun holiday targeted at children. And in the early days, when I would walk through my neighborhood and see the well-meaning gravestones in someone's front yard, there was something particularly bizarre about that. But only because I was learning to live with the death of someone that I loved. My complete frame of reference has been transformed. My life has a before the death occurred section and an after the death occurred section. My relationships have transformed. My relationship with my home. Certainly my relationship with my friends. My relationship with my family members. As much as I wish it hadn't changed, it's all changed. It can't not. And the relationship that I have with the person or the people that I love who have died, that relationship has changed. It has to. And ultimately, the relationship that I have with myself has changed.